through somebody, and he was willing to take a minute and listen to what we were all about, Seed Nutrition, what we were doing, and somebody that has his background, that has looked at a lot of businesses, a lot of business plans, and at the same time has been living in Utah and being approached by how many different networking companies and direct sales companies to invest into their company. What was it that he saw in Rain, that back when all it was just a hope and a dream? All it was kind of a picture of what we thought it could be. And you have those people, those early adopters, those guys that see it and get it. And Paul was one of those people. And at the same time, what I love is that he was trained. He was trained to see an opportunity. He was trained to see really what you should put your time and money into. And as he did that as a living, and now he's an investor here in Rain, and been with us from the get-go, and here now, it's pretty powerful. So, as we bring Paul on, I just want everybody to know that he has a different perspective. If you've seen some of his videos, if you've seen him talk in the past, and how that has kind of worked, it's one of those things that adds a different point of view, a different aspect, and a different credibility. Because I am somebody who believes in this. I am a marketer. I am somebody who has the big hopes and dreams and goals, and I know that Paul does too. But he's going to look at that and look at the facts. And so, Paul, as we're having you come on here, I've just unmuted you. So, Paul, welcome to the call today.
There we go. All right.
Well, Paul, I just did a little intro on you, obviously told about how kind of we met, your background as an investment banker, looking at this opportunity and looking at it from different eyes than we would. Obviously, I'm somebody that's always going to look at this big grand picture of what I believe it can be. And I know that you're a visionary as well, but you back it up with facts and numbers and what based on your experience at looking at businesses, opportunities, really kind of what needs to be there for somebody like yourself to go and invest your own money and have others do the same thing, because it's what you've done for a living. So you can't just do it just on belief. Like, somebody like me is just going to know and do a lot of things as a sales guy, and as somebody who believes in something, I just believe, but that's not going to be enough for kind of an investor or an investment banker. So we'd love to kind of hear your perspective on that. Why Rain? After all these years, you're still here with Rain. We're still pushing forward. And I know it's been an amazing investment for you, and it's only going to get better.
Well, thank you. Sure. I've looked at literally, I think it's over 2,000 business plans now as potential investments. I've seen, every kind of industry. I'm actively involved in investing now with a crypto hedge fund, and I've just, done investment banking for 10 years prior to that. So I've seen it all for the most part. I can't say I've seen it all, but I've seen a lot more than the average person. And when it comes to network marketing, living here in Utah for the last 30 years, of course, I've seen a lot of different network marketing companies. I've had a lot of friends go out and start network marketing companies and ask me to invest, and I never did, because when I looked at them in an overall picture of their business model, their management team, their product, the timing of the product in the industry, when you put it all together, there was always something missing, and it kept me from investing. And then I met Rain. I knew that network marketing companies were a great industry as a whole. The industry was growing. There are giant companies here in Utah that just continue to grow. And so I knew as a business, it's a good business to get into. I just couldn't find one that I had all the pieces put together that I had confidence in to invest my own money and to bring other investors into the company. And then I met you, Byron. It was a kind of a famous or infamous meeting because I didn't actually want the meeting, and I was only planning on spending about 20 minutes with you. And I think the meeting went 2 or 3 hours, because after I started learning more about Byron himself, the management team, the product, the story, it was checking all the boxes that I had looked for in the past and never found. And then that led to me knowing enough to know I want to do more research, because we always do I always do, and my team always does, a lot of research before we invest any money. We have a checklist of, over 100 items that we go through during our due diligence, and if something's off, we walk away. So it's got to be, it's pretty much all got to be right in order for us to move forward, and we did that. It took us several months of investigating rain and everything that was happening before we finally made the decision to go forward and do it. And it's been one of my best investments ever. I'm very happy, and it's continuing to be a great investment. And I'm super excited about the future of what is coming down the pipeline for not only rain, but for the global entrepreneur market because of the trends that are happening right now with artificial intelligence, smart machines, and blockchain technology. Everything's going to change. And so from a positioning standpoint, this is a great place to be in right now. And I'd be happy to talk a little more about that if you'd like.
Yeah, no, Paul, and that's a great point. And one of the things that I love that you're saying is, we've invested, we found investors and partners years ago, but when you find something good, you continue to invest into it because you know that the money that you put into it is worthwhile, the time and energy you put into it is worthwhile. So when you find those good things, you continue to do just that, which is exactly what we've been doing as a company and as investors, is continuing to double down on things that we know that are going to be game changers in what we have and are going to change things as far as the industry is concerned. And like you were saying, and then let's have you talk a little bit about that. I love that aspect is, there's a lot of people out there, I think, that when they see an opportunity, they think, oh, another opportunity. When they see that there's, something that they can do on the side, they don't really think it's a necessity for, to have a plan B. And I think, a lot of people are going to wake up here shortly, and if not us, our children. And it's just going to continue to go that way and realize that you have to have a platform that allows entrepreneurship, that allows you to go out there and build something that's yours, because a lot of that is going to be taken away from a lot of different industries. And I love how you say that. So now that you found something, as an investor, you say this is a platform that works, and it can work for not just us as investors, but people that invest their time and their energy. But now it's a platform for a plan B that can become a lot of people's plan A's. The market is that big, first off. And then secondly, people are going to need something whether they realize it or not.
Yeah, so look, let's talk about Plan B for a minute, and then overall why I think almost everyone should be looking for a Plan B, and then why rain is a great Plan B option. So, I've talked a little about this in the past, but I'm going to put some numbers in front of you today that I've never talked about at any rain event. And this whole movement of artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, smart machines, all the technology that's emerging today. And there are statistics and articles all over the internet. All you need to do is Google this to validate what I'm telling you and what I'm about to tell you. But the technology that's emerging today with artificial intelligence and blockchain technology is going to eliminate somewhere between 30 to 50% of all jobs in the next 10 to 15 years. That is unbelievable when you really think about it. And they're not going to be replaced. For the first time in history, they're not going to be replaced by the technology jobs. And I'll tell you why. Technology has been replacing jobs for a couple hundred years. You go back to the Model T Ford car and horse and buggy. As Model Ts and automobiles became popular, a lot of horse and buggy companies went out of business. But those people losing their jobs, there were a lot of new jobs created by the automobile industry. That's been happening for a couple hundred years now. And the whole thesis is that those new technology jobs are higher paying, better jobs than the lower paying, kind of labor that's being replaced. And that's been generally true, but it's not true. And this is really important for everybody. Listen very carefully, because it's not true anymore. Artificial intelligence and blockchain technology is replacing way more jobs than it's going to create. And I'll just give you an example. The accounting world is going to be turned upside down in the next 10 years by blockchain technology. It's estimated that as many as 80% of all accounting jobs are going to disappear in the next 10 years. will the new blockchain technologies that are getting rid of those 80% of those jobs create 80% new jobs? In other words, offset it? Nope. It's probably only going to be like 5 to 10% of new jobs will be created for people that are going to learn the blockchain technology for the accounting world to implement it and to make it work. So that means you've got probably somewhere about 60 to 70% of all those accounting people that have nowhere to go. No, there's no new technology that's going to be for them specifically. And that's going to happen in industry after industry after industry. The legal field, up to 50% of all legal jobs are estimated to disappear in the next 10 years. And they're not going to be replaced by technology jobs, maybe 5 or 10% of them at the most. And so this is a new thing. This is brand new in our worldwide economy. It's going to be massively disruptive. There's probably going to be, and here's something else, Byron, that's really interesting. It's never affected professionals before. All the technology that's replaced jobs in the past has usually been labor, low-paying jobs. Now it's going to affect lawyers. It's going to affect accountants. It's going to affect doctors. It's going to affect lots of different people with professionals, background in education. That's never happened before. And so probably in the next 10 years, there's going to be 1 billion people that lose their jobs and have no new jobs to take. There's going to be no new jobs for them to take. So what's going to happen? What kind of trend does that create? Where are they going to go get money? Where are they going to go work? It's going to force a huge amount of them into entrepreneurship. And how many of these people have entrepreneurship experience? Very few of them. And so what is the easiest entrepreneurship opportunity on the planet? It's network marketing. It has the least cost barrier. So, if you want to go start a franchise, you're going to spend $100,000 to a couple $1 million starting a franchise. And that's a great business to start. They have a high degree of success, but most people don't have that kind of capital to start it. And so network marketing has this low barrier of capital to enter, which allows the masses to be able to get in. And usually network marketing will train the people, which these 1 billion people over the next 10 years that are going to be looking for jobs or opportunities, they're going to need training. They're going to need some way to go out and earn money and be trained. And so I predict the network marketing industry last year was about about $140 billion in global sales. Does that sound about right, Byron? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I believe in the next 10 years, go ahead and write it down and get back to me in 10 years, see if I'm right. I believe the direct sales network marketing industry in the next 10 years is going to hit $1 trillion in sales because of what I'm talking about right now. Not just because it's a growing industry. It's because 1 billion people are going to lose their jobs and have no new jobs to take. And so they're going to be forced into something. And network marketing is going to be there with arms wide open to take those people into this new industry, this marketplace, and to let them thrive. Not only grow and survive, but to let them thrive. Now, that's plan B. Plan B should be, you should be looking for a sideline business. And network marketing, in my opinion, is really the best sideline business that anybody can start. And then the next step is, what network marketing company? Well, that's Rain. Why Rain? Well, I talked a little about this at the World Seed Summit, but I talked about it from a timing perspective, which I want to discuss for just a quick minute and talk about why timing is important and why timing is not important, okay? And if you look at the 5 key factors the 5 categories for success for a company, how you can break a company into 5 categories, and these 5 things are the things that determine if they're successful. The 1 is the product or service, 2 is the team, 3 is the business model, so how do they make money, how do they market, sell, what's their strategy, 4 is the capital that they raise, and then 5 is the timing. And I remember I was surprised by the audience at the World Seed Summit. I said, which of those 5 is the most important factor of the success in a business? And almost everybody in the audience said timing. And that is the right answer. There was research done by a famous venture capitalist, Bill Gross from Idea Labs, who determined out of 100 investments, timing was the #1 factor to success. However, you have to have a good product or timing doesn't matter. You have to have a good team or timing doesn't matter, right? You have to have a good strategy on how to sell that product or timing doesn't matter. and you have to have the capital. Well, luckily, in network marketing, it doesn't take hardly almost any capital at all to get started. And so let's look at Rain for a minute. So why Rain? Of all the network marketing companies, because I believe that direct sales and network marketing is literally going to explode because of what artificial intelligence and blockchain technology is going to do to the workforce by displacing so many people. So Rain, let's look at the product. The product is probably the number one reason I invested in Rain. When I got involved 6-7 years ago, there were people that were on this product and all they wanted was the product. They didn't care about anything else. They just wanted to get their hands on the product. And as I looked deeper and deeper, I found out that the retail sales for Rain was 10 times higher than the industry average for network marketing company for the product. That told me a lot. It said this is a real product, it actually works, and there are people that are going to take it the rest of their lives, no matter what happens with the opportunity and whether they're making money or not. It doesn't matter to them. They just want the product. So Rain has a spectacular product. You look at the team, we've got Byron, we've got Casey, we've got Daniel. I kind of hang around once in a while, and the team is super important. The intent of Rain has always been crystal clear. It's always been really good from the heart to the people. The management team wants everybody to do well. And Byron knows, and everybody that's worked with Byron knows that he cares about the distributors. He wants them to be successful. We all know that the company can't thrive without the partners being successful. And then you look at the business strategy, and look, Rain was growing without any kind of support materials for many years. That was another thing that one of the reasons why I invested. The company had nothing. I mean, when 6-7 years ago, there was nothing, and there was nothing for a year or two, and the company kept growing. Well, that told me a lot about the products and about the strategy and the compensation plan. And I'm not an expert on compensation plans, but I do know that people make a lot of money as partners in Rain. And then let's go back to the capital. That's another factor. You need very little capital to get started in this. And the last thing is timing. So timing with Rain is great. In fact, I don't think there's a better time to get involved in right now because of all the new tools that are coming down the new Rain app. And there's a social media program in the works that's going to be coming out, which we can touch on just a little. And there's going to be, I don't want to talk about all the new things coming down the pipeline because we don't need them. All we need is Soul, and that's it. I was actually thinking the other day, 30 years ago, there were network marketing companies before the internet, before smartphones, and people used an actual piece of paper to sign people up and then fax it in or put it in the mail for their products. And people made money doing it that way. So we can always go back to doing it and be successful, even with just a piece of paper and a pencil. And so all these wonderful tools that we have just keep making it easier and better. And that's another thing that I should touch on in terms of technology trends. This is one of the things I love about network marketing, is that all of these artificial intelligence technologies and blockchain technologies that are going to be eliminating millions of jobs, all this technology keeps making it easier and better for you as a partner to succeed. The internet makes it easier. Email makes it easier. Smartphones make it easier. This Zoom call makes it easier. The Rain app makes it easier. It just keeps making it easier and better for our industry. So that's a lot of people are very nervous about technology, and they should be. They should be. In almost every industry and career, you should be nervous about how technology is going to affect your career and your business and your livelihood. But in network marketing, it just keeps helping us. It just keeps making it easier and easier for people to be successful. And on a global basis, my goodness, it's unbelievable how easy it is for literally with social media and smartphones to connect with people all over the world, just as easy as you can connect with somebody across the neighborhood. It's really astounding how much more efficient business has become with network marketing today than it was even 5 years ago or 10 years ago. So it just keeps getting better and better. So Rain really checks all the boxes when you look at what's going to make a company successful. And when I look at the things coming down the pipeline for Rain, you haven't missed the opportunity yet. It's right here. And that's why timing is important. But I want to talk about why timing is not important for just a quick second. Let me tell you why timing is not important when it comes to you and this company. If you started 6 years ago and you got 2 people who got 2 people who got 2 people, you would have made a lot of money. Today, you can start by getting 2 people who get 2 people who get 2 people, and you're going to make a lot of money. And 3 years from now, you can start and get 2 people who get 2 people who get 2 people, and you'll make a lot of money. So on one hand, it doesn't really matter when you start. If you just do what they tell you to do, you're going to make a lot of money in this business. But the real timing question, I think that's the most important timing question, is the personal timing. What's your timing? You want to wait another year to start making money and developing and getting the income you need to have the freedom and the lifestyle you want? You want to wait 3 years? You want to wait 10 years when there's a billion people out of work trying to figure out what to do? Or do you want to get started right now with your own timing and making things happen today? And I think that is really, in the end, the only question that really matters is what's your timing? When do you want to start making a change? When do you want to actually move forward and make things happen? And you can make that decision today and get going and get started. And this company is going to be a great company for you to be involved in all the way through the next 10 years, which is going to be massively disruptive on a worldwide basis to everyone. And it's going to be disruptive to us in a positive way, because we're going to have so many people looking for something that it's going to be a hard time keeping up with it. I really honestly believe it. Mark my words, direct sales, $1 trillion in sales in the next 10 years. And that might be low. So I kind of went on a little ramp there, guys.
Right.
So
I got a couple of things. We've got a few more minutes here. I would like to invite, folks, there's a way for you to ask a question in this technology. Drop a question or two in there for a moment. I'd love to just see what kind of questions our RAIN partners have for you, Paul. But while they're doing that, one of the things, folks, is yesterday Paul and I met, we talked for a little bit, and not to put you on the spot, but one of the things that just struck me is that technology component. And yesterday, we were talking about our mobile application and some of the beauties that are in that. Years ago, we didn't have anything, hardly a piece of paper. But now we've got so many things. People can get started. They can run as hard as they want or as slow as they want. But timing, the faster you go, you get to take advantage of all that. But can you just hit a little bit on the significance of that mobile application for our RAIN partners from your perspective as a business owner, an investor, and so forth?
yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised at how robust that RAIN app is, RAIN Connect. And as I started wandering around and looking through everything and what it does and the things you were showing me, I was super happy and excited and surprised because, the presentations are now on there that you can pull up and literally have on your phone to go through with someone, whether it's an opportunity meeting or various training meetings. And then there's promotional piece of information that you can literally just say, I want to send this to a friend, and you push a couple buttons on that app and it will text out, it will email it out, and it'll come from you and your text and your phone number or your email address. And it has built-in messages. It's really, we're making this really dummy-proof. If you have a smartphone, this is really getting easier by the day. And I know that RAIN's been working on this for a long time, and I'm glad it's here. And I know it's just going to continue to get better with more materials, more support resources, more training, more different kinds of marketing tools. It's all in there now and just continuing to get bigger and bigger. I was super, super excited about it, actually. It's just, I don't know. It's just so easy now. It's almost not fair.
Right, exactly. You consider what other people had to do in the past, and now to be able to have that technology is indeed credible. Okay, so here's a couple of questions that came in. We don't have too much time for all of them, folks, but there's one question that came up. Paul, are professionals, specifically accountants, aware of what blockchain will do to
Yeah. So one thing, I'll give you one quick example, and I could kind of go on this for a while, but I won't because I don't think most people care about blockchain accounting. But one of the things that it's going to do, it's going to radically reduce the amount of hours to complete an audit. When you start putting all your transactions from a company into the blockchain, then the audit is literally going to go from, I'm just going to make up some numbers, go from taking 200 hours to finish an audit that an accounting firm would normally take to maybe 20 hours or less. It's going to be significantly faster and easier. And I actually talked to two different accounting firms, big accounting firms, a couple months ago. I got invited to speak at an entrepreneur class at the University of Utah, and the two accounting firms had desks in the lobby recruiting students. And I walked up to both of them independently, and I said, hey, what are you doing about blockchain? And the other one of the guys looked at me like, I'm not sure what you're talking about. And I'm like, you better go look it up, buddy. And then the other company I talked to, I said, what are you doing about blockchain? They said, we're making a major shift. And we're now going from hiring, instead of hiring auditors, we're hiring advisors to start implementing blockchain for companies and to teach that. And so they were on it and they understood the significance of it. And so good for them. All of them will figure it out pretty soon, I think. But anyway, that's the short answer.
That's awesome. Well, okay, a couple other things, Paul. Folks, as we were talking yesterday, we're really excited. Years ago, I remember traveling with Paul around the United States, and we hit the East Coast in a few places, and Texas a few places. He's been over in our foreign markets. He's going to get back out in our North America, in each one of our markets around the globe. Paul, I think that people love to hear how you feel about getting back out and seeing people, shaking their hands, being part of these events that we're going to be doing for our RAIN partners. Would you have any comments on that?
Yeah, I'm super excited to get out, and Byron finally is letting me out of the cage to go do a little speaking on the road. I always enjoy doing that once in a while. I haven't done much in the last couple of years, and so I love meeting with the RAIN partners. I love talking to them. I love hearing about their success, the challenges they're having, and hopefully the main thing, and I've always said this, is I don't want to go out unless I think I can make a difference. And I can make a difference right now. I really feel what I've seen in the marketplace and the global economics, what's happening with everything globally, what I was just talking about, and what's happening with RAIN, and all the new technology that RAIN's coming out with the RAIN Connect app, and with the social media program that's going to be coming that I'm so excited about, and some other things that are coming that I can't talk about yet, but I will be talking about. I mean, that's why I'm excited to get on the road, because there's a lot. It's not just getting on the road saying, hey, RAIN's a good company, let's get involved and do 2x2. There's a lot of exciting stuff coming, and that's why I wanted to get out on the road and help spread the message and, give Byron a little break every once in a while.
That's right. That's right. It'll be awesome to have you out there. So, ladies and gentlemen, around the globe, if you want to have Paul come to your area, look, we start by making sure we've got a great foundation, that you're moving and shaking, you're making things happen, and then reach out to customer service. Make that request to us. Say, hey, I can get 50 people in a room if we can get Paul out here, and I know that he would be happy and honored to fulfill that request to help you grow your business and so forth. So one last question, Paul, and then we'll let everybody go today. Great question. Again, you kind of hit on this when you talked about the risk for those that don't take advantage of opportunities like this if they're in the industry that may fall away or will collapse for whatever varying reason. So someone asks again, how do you respond to somebody from a business standpoint when they say they're not sure about the opportunity? Meaning, I don't know, maybe I don't know if I want to do the business. What kind of, from your perspective, when someone passes up an opportunity like this because they don't understand the proposition, what kind of statement would you make?
Well, I've passed up a number of opportunities that I wish I hadn't, right? So I have a lot of experience because I've seen a lot of opportunities, and some have been good that I've done, and some have passed up. I mean, there are investors who saw Google, had a chance to invest early, and said, man, I don't think it's that good, right? There are people that said that about Apple. There were 3 people that started Apple, and one of the 3 dropped out right in the beginning and wanted his $3,000 back. And he was a full partner, and he dropped out. And so every giant company that you see today, has lots of investors that looked at the deal and said, no, I don't think I'm going to get into it. So people make bad decisions all the time about missing opportunities. That's common. And so I would say, look at it very carefully and really take a close look at this in terms of what does it take? To me, most opportunities that you try and get involved in, I'll give you a slight painful example. A few buddies of mine got together and we put $700,000 in to start a new restaurant and bar in Park City, Utah. We had the perfect location, and it's a long story, but it didn't work out. We thought it was a great opportunity, and we lost $700,000 in about 12 months. And so those things happen. With Rain, you're not going to lose $700,000, and you're not going to lose 700 hours. You're going to make a relatively small investment in money and time, and if you work it, you're going to see a big return on the investment in a relatively short period of time, and it's a very small risk to try, to give this a go. Most businesses that you start take years and years and years. I was just in Puerto Rico trying to help this company raise $5 million for a new blockchain technology company, and it's going to be like, it's $5 million just to get the company before it can start building the product to start making any revenue, right? That's a typical startup business. If you want to go start a business and start an opportunity, we're talking about literally maybe only a couple $100, maybe a couple $1,000, maybe, and then a few hours to invest to get started the right way. And that is a super small commitment and a small risk. And I say everybody that looks at this opportunity, you should go ahead and try it. And here's the thing, is you've got to do what you're supposed to do to really give it a try. And if you do that, you're going to find out if this opportunity is for you or not. But you'll never know if you don't try. That's my comment.
That's awesome, for sure. Well, again, folks, we appreciate Paul. We excused Byron. He had to get in his car as he is traveling over to Europe today, so he didn't miss his airplane. He does a lot for you and this company, everybody. Paul, maybe in the last closing thought, I think it's appropriate to maybe just to, again, edify and continue to build upon what you saw in Byron all those years ago, and how people, again, can get behind this mission and purpose by just going out there and doing the basics. Let's wrap up with that and wish everybody well.
Yeah, so, one of the things that I liked about Byron when I first met him, the very first meeting, is he said, hey, here's the problems we have, and here's the good stuff, and here's the problems. He was very transparent. That's hard to find in this industry. And it's one of the reasons that I pursued Rain and ultimately invested. Rain is not perfect. No company is. This phone that I'm using right now, this smartphone made by Apple, this is a company that has over $200 billion of cash in the bank, tens of thousands of engineers, and I still have bloody problems with this phone. It's like, are you kidding me? Really? So, companies make mistakes. But the key thing is, how do they respond to those mistakes? How do they make pivots to fix those things? How do they move forward? And this is one of the things that I like about Rain. We haven't been perfect. No, we're never going to be perfect. We've made mistakes. We're going to make some in the future, but we acknowledge it. We fix it. We move forward. We get better. And I'm super excited, more than ever in the last 6 or 7 years. I'm more excited about Rain and where it's at and what it's got and what it's introducing than I ever have been in the history of this company. So it's a great time to be involved.
That's right. Awesome. Well, Paul, we as a company are just honored to be able to have you as a connection with this company on the ventures and everything else that we're out there and embarking upon. Your counsel and guidance is awesome for us. We appreciate that. And folks, again, we're honored to be able to have Paul out there, to be able to meet you and shake your hands. There's a lot to learn from this man. So again, we look forward to hearing from you on your interest and getting Paul out in your neck of the woods. But Paul, we appreciate your time today. We know that you've got a full schedule yourself also. But with that, everybody, let's go out there, make it rain. Take the advice from Paul, who, again, I got to say this, Paul. This guy, Paul Hickey, knows his stuff. He is an incredible, incredible man. And you may not know this, but he has his own island, which is kind of cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, he knows what he's talking about. So take his advice, and let's really go out there and make some great things happen today for your business, for your timing, and for Rain. So with that, everybody, thank you, Paul. Thank you, everyone. Have a great, great day.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.